Why it is important to grieve in today's traumatic world and how. In our last video, we talked about how to keep a level head in today's traumatic world. By the end of this video, you will have a better understanding of why it's important to grieve in today's traumatic world and how. It's Todd and Anna here. Also, if you're seeing this video and you're not part of our private Facebook group, then you should check out our tribe, as we have what? 26,000 spiritual seekers getting together and growing themselves in our Awaken to the Shift group. Again, that is Awaken to the Shift group. Okay, back to what I was saying. No doubt the world in our personal world is turning upside down in ways we have never experienced before. The trauma is worse for some than others. And of course, we have to remind ourselves often that this is all part of the shift in consciousness.
Are you ready to begin?
I am.
Well, I want to start by saying I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's good to have you here.
Yeah, it's kind of like getting back on the bicycle.
Right,
you know?
right.
Okay, well, I got a couple of points here I want to make.
Okay.
Last time we were on, we were talking about keeping a level head in the traumatic experiences that are happening. All right, because of that particular topic, we have had individuals reach out to us, whether it's here locally or it's online or comments and or private messages. There's a lot of fear going on. There's scarcity thinking, which is, I'm trying to get to the point of, this is why we created this video, to be about grieving, because there's so much change happening that there's kind of things getting left behind. It could be a family member, it could be friends, it could be neighbors, it could be coworkers, it could be the job, it could be the house, it could be the car. You know, just a lot of things are going on. And then to top that off, then we have worries and concerns about the children and how they're coping. And very unsure of how to do that, how to help the child.
Right, and with that, it's just coming to me now, with the children, with every individual in this reality, on this planet, right now, in this now time, all chose to be here. The children that are here right now chose to be here at this moment in time. Granted, we are going to be facing a storm here in 2020, and we'll talk about more of that later, but I think what I want to say is the children, you know, it's good to talk to them and all that, but they're very capable of handling of what's coming, all the good and the bad.
Yeah, they may have a little bit unsureness, so watch your energies, make sure they're not matching your energies, your worries, your concerns, and just kind of maybe calm that down and hopefully this video will help you to find that, because at the end Todd will explain how you can overcome grief as easily as, and I want to say, snap of the fingers. It can be that quick, that fast, even though we're going to go through some steps of how to relieve grief, but we're also going to give you one great way to just snap right into it, and then your children will just see you do a very calm thing right in front of them.
And like you said, I don't know if you did say, they will sense your energy, so you know,
be mindful.
Be mindful of that.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay, so how should I begin?
Can you share just a little bit about the shift?
Okay, so the definition of the shift in consciousness, and I'm not going to go into the whole definition of it, but there's two aspects to it. There is a shift happening currently in our reality, and it's only accelerating. And what it is, it's widening our awareness. That's one aspect of the shift. And it's also bringing the remembrance of who and what we really are, a spiritual being having a human experience. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good. And plus, we've talked quite a bit about it in the last video, which you can always go back to.
And then I'm going to go into more videos, more in depth about the shift and different aspects of the shift.
Okay, so if we realize these things are happening, we don't want you to lose yourself in the mix of it, and to recognize you can't stop change.
Right.
It's happening. It's happening before us. It's happening fast. It's furious. It's loud. It's in your face, and it's all part of the shift. And so, how can we shift if there's no change? If there's no shift and changes, we can't have a shift.
Right.
So kind of find a way to embrace the changes and come from a place of curiosity and wonderment of, how is this? I guess this is the way it's beginning to happen.
Right. So pretty much the world is being kind of turned upside down. So is in our inner world. But remember, your inner world creates your outer world. It's not the other way around. So if you come from a place of cool, calm, and collectiveness, you're going to create that in your exterior world, and you're going to get feedback from the outside world that you're thinking properly and your beliefs are correct. If you start seeing terror and everything in trauma, you're not thinking right inside.
Well, and then what happens is they would kind of collect situations where things aren't right outside.
Then realign.
Because it's like a magnet. Right. So whatever you're thinking, that's what we're going to attract. So, all right, let's get into some of the solutions.
Okay.
All right. Now, you guys, anybody can go simply online and find, some say there's 5 steps of grieving process. Some say there's a 7-step thing. Kind of mixed them together, and we're just going to share them with you. But what I really want to do is get to that snap of the finger idea. But let's get through this part first.
Right.
So the first thing we can do is acknowledge the pain, the shock, and even the part where you might be in denial. A great word, or 2 words actually, I didn't even think about this, but Todd, you can help me with it. The cognitive dissonance.
Oh, yes.
So that individuals are in cognition, I guess it's the best way to...
Well, you can show them truth, and their view on the world is so...
Well, I think it's like this.
Right.
And so when it's like this, then that screws up this, and then you don't want to believe this.
Right.
So I don't know how to explain it,
Yeah.
but it's just in between here, there's a lot of stuff going on. And so anyway, and then you just kind of shut down, and then you're not open to the possibilities. And that's what we need with this shift, is to be open to the possibilities. Don't put the brakes on. All right, so acknowledge it. Recognize it. Yes, you might be in shock. You might kind of fall into a little bit of denial, but we got that snap of the finger idea coming up. All right. So you're going to have unexpected emotions. There's going to be anger. There's going to be guilt. You're going to be put out. You're just going to be like, my world seemed to be very rote. Things you knew what to expect every single day, whether it's getting the kids ready for school or yourself ready for work. It was pretty routine.
Right.
Thank you. So anyway, getting back to just to know that these things are going to be upheaved. And so we all grieve differently. Some might go into depression, isolation. Some might go into very deep reflection and in meditation. And these are all the steps. You can do all these things. And when you kind of get to that state of there's nothing more to think about. There's nothing more to be depressed about. You ran it over through your head. You ruminated. You went over it again and again. Then it starts to turn around.
Right.
We're tired of being tired.
Right. So you could say, this whole thing with the shift, you kind of want to align yourself with the shift. So you want to get your beliefs right. You want to have just be cool, calm, and collective. You want to start meditation, of course. You want to start a holistic health program, which mental is meditation. Physical, you want to start, maybe walking or doing some type of physical exercise. Spiritual, you want to plug into a spiritual growth community. Pretty much Awaken the Shift community is a good community to plug into. That will help you, because if you can get yourself aligned right and you're plugged in to the pulse, we feel we have a good pulse on what is happening now, what's coming down the pike. If you have a good idea of what's coming, you can get yourself aligned right. And the shift is divine intervention. Think of energies coming into this. And if you can align to it like a surfer, ride the wave of the shift all the way back to the remembrance of who you are as you're increasing your awareness. Now, of course, we're going to go into a lot more stuff that will help you in the remembrance of yourself and increasing your awareness, but that's not what this video is for.
Well, I think, just to kind of tag to that, or maybe even summarize, what we're really talking about is finding that group, that niche, that organization, that where people kind of where you feel like you're home, like, oh, there's like-minded people here. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful, and just be able to kind of ride the coattails of what other people are saying and ask questions and, enjoy that page.
Right, and when you do go on the page, and if you are watching this from the page, you saw the post I put out, and it was more about discernment, just trying to get people to stop seeing the truth, and some of it is, I didn't really come too hard, but I come somewhat.
Okay, so let's preface this a minute, because what we don't want the page to be is all about all the niceties of life, not all love and light, not all, because the shift has the two parts.
Right.
So you got to have the disclosure aspects so that you can learn how to discern. So see that post that Todd wrote, because you got to have both, because you can't learn to discern if you don't see the disclosure, so that you can go, oh, I'm not buying that.
Right. And if you see in the post, we're not really political. We don't take sides. We're more light versus dark, because
that's where I take sides.
Right.
I'm for the light.
Right. I'm for the light too. So this isn't about right versus left. It's light versus the dark. And once you read the post, you'll understand more. And the reason why I'm writing that is because we're in the midst of a storm, and the storm is going to accelerate. 2020 is going to be crazy, okay? And it's of paramount of importance that you remain in the eye of the storm, where it's calm, where peace and solitude reigns, where even though you may see the storm raging all around you, you stay in the middle, cool, calm, and collected, okay? One of the reasons why we created Awaken and Shift, or why I did it, whatever, was to have a community that was plugged into the truth, to what was going on as we were going through the shift in consciousness, and then teach other people, awaken them to it. Because once it really started accelerating, and now we have this storm of disclosure coming in, okay, and a lot is going to be disclosed, a lot of ugliness that's been in our world, sinister, evil. I won't even go into all that, but all that's going to start coming up, and
which is why we got to grieve the past, because that was not honest and real. So we're getting into honest and real, and it's going to be awful to realize that these kinds of things were happening, and it's very dark.
Very dark, and it's good for you to know, because you all had to go through. We all have to see it. We have to address to it, accept it with no judgment, and then transcend it. But the reason why I was saying all this was, you're going to have friends and family that are going to be freaking out, don't know what's going on. You can be that lighthouse, that guiding light, that rock, okay? This is what all this is really about, the beginning part. And then, of course, we'll get into more spiritual growth and development and all that. Also, you want to be trusting of yourselves. Do not look to, the media or other people out there, individuals, because they have their own belief systems, their judgments, and their evaluations.
And their agendas.
Okay? So be trusting of yourself. That's where discernment comes in, knowing right from wrong, to be able to see where there is deceiving going on. Because if you trust yourself, you listen to your intuition. Keep hitting my mic. Your intuition, you'll never betray yourself. So as the veil of forgetfulness, I hate to go into another topic here, but think of another plate spinning, right? The veil of forgetfulness is falling. So that means you're having bleed-throughs from other aspects of yourself, and you want to start listening to all that. And I'll go more into that, but I'm just giving you a little
topics
taste.
That we're going to be touching upon. So let's get back to the storm, because I want to specifically talk about the hurricane's eye. Because if I was to summarize what you're talking about the eye of a hurricane storm. We all know about the eye. Well, I don't know that all of us know about it, but I live in Florida, so I know about it. But anyway, so the eye of the storm is very calm in there. And so that's where you're saying. So if we're on the outskirts where things are smashing and crashing and trees are falling down, and that's all our drama from family and friends and whatever else.
The news is going to really create,
So I want to go, bum. I'm going to be in the camera.
Right.
Boom.
Right.
There's the snap of the fingers, ladies and gentlemen. The eye of the storm.
Right.
Stay in there as much as possible. So when you find yourself kind of falling out, falling in backwards, falling into 3D, jump back into the eye of the storm. And I think that's just a great way to just go, where am I? Am I in the eye of the storm? No way, Jose. Let me jump back in.
And if you're plugged in this community, you kind of know who to listen to, who not to listen to. You know, you can have friends, family, you can have the news, you can have all these people giving you what they think's going on, right? So, and what happens is we confuse ourselves when we look outside of ourselves for our answers, okay? For in looking outside of ourselves, we are looking through rose-colored glasses or a filtration of other individuals' belief systems, whether it be family, friends, the news media,
all of it.
All of it, right? Mm-hmm. And what that does, it causes confusion and conflict within. That's not good. We're trying to keep you away from that. Okay, so what you want to start to do is to use discernment, to trust the voice from within as you're reading stuff or you're hearing things. Just remember discernment.
And to be aware of, if it's fear-based, then you just fell back into it. You're riding that train and that energy and that you know, oh, it's god awful kind of concepts and beliefs.
Right, because with all this, now we have this disclosure, this ugliness, and this is all coming soon. 2020 is going to be the year. It's going to be that tipping point when all the ugliness is coming out. At the same time, though, the energies of the shift are accelerating. So all this ugliness is coming out, but this spiritual aspect of it is starting to speed up too. And that's bringing you closer into who and what you really are, so you'll be able to learn more and hear more from your higher self. And we'll go more into that, your guides and things of that nature. The shift is an amazing thing. This has never happened in this reality. You're here for this. You're going to witness this. Now, not everybody's going to shift, but that's all right. We are eternal beings. Whoever doesn't shift just gets reincarnated and comes back and learns from their lessons because they haven't learned everything. But you have the opportunity to shift to the fifth dimension. That's where we're going to be. We hope you're going to be there with us. I think that's about it.
Well, just real brief, I want to do a couple summary things. Okay. The excitement of it. So, because it is exciting.
Right.
So if we can get out of the trauma, we don't have much grieving to do. Right, and you get to the place of seeing it as an adventure. And because you can't stop the change, but can you still be happy? Can you still find that happy place, okay? And one thing that's very interesting to note is the shift is causing all of this.
Yes.
But the shift is also the answer.
Yes.
So that's where I'd like to leave it.
All right.
Create a great day.
All right, we'll talk to you guys next week.